Every competitive golfer, professional golfer that I come across to, speak to, or work with tells me a different version or a similar version of the same thing. I know I am good enough. I know I can do it. I know I've done enough, but yet I'm just not seeing it pay off. When I get out there in tournaments, my brain says otherwise, and I cannot perform to the level that I know I'm capable of under pressure. You've done the practice, you've got the technique, you've got the talent, you've got the skill, you've got the work ethic. You work harder than most. But the moment pressure shows up, the cut line shows up, the leaderboard gets tight, or the first tee nerves kick in, something takes over. The golfer who was absolutely striping on the range 20 minutes ago has somehow completely fucking disappeared and started to think, don't fuck this up. If that sounds like you are not mentally weak. You are not broken. It's because there is a part of your brain that is designed to sabotage your performance. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what that is, why it happens, and how to stop it from running the show. So, here's what no one tells you about your brain. By the way, I'm going to show you some picture cards here. Do not judge my drawings. It's the first time I've tried being creative on these videos, and here goes nothing. So this is my picture of a brain, and as you can see, I've drawn two sides of it. And that is because you have two parts of your brain. And essentially, they are two competing systems operating inside your head at all times. And they want two completely different things. The first one, we call it the human or the CEO brain. Essentially, always scanning for danger and puts you in survival mode. So when you've been playing or know that you've played your best golf somewhere in the past, maybe not quite right now, you were operating from this side. Right now, we're over here. And I'm going to show you how we can get out of here and back over here to play your best golf under pressure. Because this one does not care about your dreams of maintaining status, getting to the next level, getting to the next tour, whether that's the PGA Tour, whether that's the DP World Tour, whether that's the Hotel Planet Tour. This one doesn't care. This one does, because it's growth focused. Now, what you need to know about the chimp is that he's 3 to 5 times stronger than the human brain, the CEO brain, the logical side of the brain. And your chimp doesn't work on facts. It works on feelings. And it doesn't care for evidence that you might be good enough. It cares for how you're feeling in that moment. And if it feels threatened, whether that's, like I said before, from fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of never being good enough, fear of success, fear of the future, it will trigger survival mode. And in survival mode, that's when it gets very loud upstairs, right? Survival mode is essentially the chimp saying, I don't care that you've holed that putt 1,000 times. I don't care that you know how to hit it down the fairway. We're thinking about the things that we don't want to think about because we want to keep ourselves safe from failure and embarrassment, keeping our self-worth intact. It's essentially that same reaction as if you saw a tiger in the jungle, right? That flight or fright. It's your heart rate increases, your temperature increases, you know, your limbs start to feel a little bit different, and so does your swing. And it's a response that you cannot control unless you train the logical side of the brain, which I'm going to show you a little bit more later on in this video. But the most important thing to know is that you cannot fight it, right? It's like trying to arm wrestle someone 3 to 5 times the size of you. Your body and your game will follow the brain. And if the wrong side of the brain is in charge, you're going to have a very, very hard time trying to bring it back to a natural state of homeostasis. Now, as you know, we don't always just want to be calm and placid, and it depends on the individual, essentially, as to what your performance state looks like. Some people like to be ramped up, but they're still looking to play to win. Some people like to be calm and laid back and chilled, but still being aggressive with their golf. And it depends on the individual, and that's why you need to explore it. But what I'm saying is sometimes you don't have a choice if this chimp brain is in control. Because, like I said, your body just follows that trigger when it goes survival mode, scan for danger, fret, 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 fret. And it's a threat to you, not a physical one. So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense as to why you might struggle to get those thoughts out of your head and come back to where you know you can perform at your best when you're out on the golf course. And what I mean by those thoughts is, this is another card, but it's like a golf hole with the chimp and his thoughts, which sometimes you're left alone with out on the golf course, which is, well, don't mess this up. Don't hit it left, don't hit it right, don't hit it OB. Don't miss the cut. Don't miss this putt. Don't make a bogey. Don't. All you end up hearing is don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And it's very hard to do the thing that you want to and look for the best case scenario if that is all you're experiencing, because that way is a clear sign to me that you've slipped into survival mode, defense, and playing not to lose. When you're playing not to lose, you're not playing to win, so you're not going to win. So now you understand why this is happening. You've got a chimp that is hijacking your performances under pressure. I want to show you the bit that actually changes everything for you, because most professional golfers just try to fight this. Now that will not work. Like I said to you before, it's 3 to 5 times stronger than your logical CEO human side brain, because this is more likely what you've been told to do. Just think positively, right? Just think positive. Just stay calm. Just suppress your nerves. Be confident. Ignore doubt. Grind harder. All advice that doesn't actually get to why this thing is happening in the first place, because fighting won't work. And that's why you feel exhausted out on the golf course, because your energy goes into the fight, not the golf. And that's where we have a problem. So what do we do instead? Well, there's a 3-step framework here, and I imagine this might be the wrong way around, but we'll give it a go. The first step is recognize. Recognize and notice the shift. Notice that the chimp has taken over by the thoughts that you are hearing, right? And acknowledge it. Acknowledge who's in charge. This is the chimp, because the chimp cannot observe itself. So you allow the logical brain to take over in that moment by saying, that's not me, that's my chimp. Okay. Think back to logical. And then you're going to respond. Okay, now I know that the chimp is in charge and the chimp is dealing with what I've got going on in front of me right now due to my environment and the triggers. Do not suppress it. Do not fight it, like I said, because it just makes it stronger, just makes it louder. Just go, okay, well, I'm feeling a bit nervous right now. All right, that's okay. The chimp's experiencing, a bit of a threat. And until you do the deeper work, this stuff will stay. But at least we can learn to deal with this response. And that pattern of behavior will no longer be habitual, because you're starting to change the way you respond to it. But you can say, well, I'm nervous. That's okay. I'm allowed to feel nervous. I'm allowed to feel nervous. Chimp, you're allowed to feel nervous. It's okay, but I got this. And then remind yourself of your process. What am I going to do? What is the process that I do on every single shot? A tee shot, iron shot, putt. And I'm going to just continue with that, even though I still feel this way. That's the definition of high performance. Still being able to do the thing to your highest level of ability, regardless of how you're thinking or feeling in the moment. And this is how you do that. And then the last thing, the third step here, manage. Manage yourself. Manage yourself outside of the game, making sure you've slept well, right? Making sure you've eaten well, making sure that you haven't burnt any more energy than you need to across the week in preparing for this tournament, because emotions make us stupid, right? And if we are more fatigued than normal, then the chimp's just going to get louder. And then if the chimp gets louder, which means your emotions are going to get stronger, which then means that we get pulled out from what we know we can do versus what we need to do, or versus what the chimp makes us do, right? So recognize, respond, and manage. And you see, what happens once you've done that is that you can start switching out of survival and into creation, right? Into flow, into abundance. Because survival is just a whole bunch of don'ts, right? Don't embarrass yourself, don't fail, don't mess this up, don't do that, don't do this. Whereas creation is more about abundance. It's about, what do I want to happen? What's the best thing that could happen? I see my line. I see my target. I trust my club. I trust my swing. I commit to the shot. And when you can work yourself through that 3-step process, it's easier to come out of don'ts and into what you do want to happen. So if any of this has resonated with you and where you're currently at with your game, all I suggest you do is drop me a message on Instagram at @JoshMadison__, and we can book in your free discovery / mental performance audit and actually see how this is sabotaging your performances and what you can do about it. Where you want to go, where you're currently at, what's the handbrake that's pulling you back from being where you are to where you want to go, and how to plug that gap. Then from there, if you want to learn about how coaching works, I can tell you. But if not, at least you'll be a little bit clearer on how this is all showing up for you. But there's one thing that I want to leave you with, and that is you do not need to be fearless. You just need to stop letting fear drive your decisions. So just make sure you understand, and go back and watch this again if you need to understand how these two sides of your brain affect your performance and how to recognize and don't fight to make sure that you manage yourself so the emotions aren't as strong, and how you respond and switch from survival into creation. And if you have any further questions, then also my inbox is always open on Instagram. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.